Hello everyone, and welcome back to Killershrewfan's Killer Toy Reviews. We have got another exciting review planned for you today as part of Killershrewfan's 12 Days of Reviews, but this one goes out to Spinoguy/Spinosaur Slasher. Thank you so much for the request and for your patience while we put this together for you. But Spinoguy/Spinosaur Slasher requested we review this figure, the Terra by Battat Acrocanthosaurus. Now, if you're unaware of what this line is, it is a repainted series of the much sought-after Battat line from the Boston Museum of Science. And that line was available sometime in the early 90s, like right around when Jurassic Park came out, and has become obsolete, it doesn't exist anymore. It just fell off the radar in the past. I don't know when exactly it ended, but all I know is that the figures are now highly sought after and highly collectible. But now Target has this exclusive line available featuring several repaints of the original line and a few new species. So if you're not able to get any of the classic models, then this Terra by Battat line is definitely gonna be for you. But without further ado, let's give you guys a closer look at the packaging. As you can see, this is part of the Dan LaRusso collection there. You've got the logo there, and on the side, the species. On the back and sides, you kind of get this sort of topographical with the coordinates, and then you've got the sort of line map going on up there, which is kind of a fun design for the box. And on the side, you've got these holes punched in it, almost like it's a shipping crate with a little up arrow. You know, that's just something kind of fun. And on the back there, as you can see, he does have a lot of awesome facts about the species that is contained within the box. And, you know, if you want to read that, you can go ahead and pause the video. I'm not going to take the time to read it right now, as these videos are kind of long enough as is. But without further ado, let's get this guy out of his packaging. So, as you can see, we have got the box here, but the Acrocanthosaurus is nowhere to be seen. He's on the loose, out for the prowl, looking for a fresh kill. No, okay, what am I even doing with myself? Ugh, I need a life. Anywho, as you can see here, I just wanted to tell you a little more about the box situation that we have going on. So if you want to open this box and preserve it in a way that allows you to put the figure back in, there's a really easy way to do it. What you gotta do here, go to the side, and this area, which is going to be taped up upon purchasing, you just gotta cut that with some scissors. As always, be careful or seek adult assistance. Then you peel that out, open up the door here, and then this diorama piece will just slide right out. And then on the bottom, as you can see, it has these little holes for the twist ties, which hold the acro in place, and then it's just a matter of untwisting those to let him free. And then, of course, what you want to do is, if you want to put him back, make sure you save all those pieces, so that way when it comes time to put your figure back in the box, you can have them and tie him back down, so you don't have to risk him getting out and biting your toes or whatever the heck, something that people fear. But without further ado, let's bring in our figure. There he is, standing in all of his glory, free from that box prison that has held him for so long. And, you know, it's pretty cool to actually hold this figure in your hand after all that time. Like I said, maybe I didn't say this, but I have the complete Terra by Battat collection, and I do keep them in the box, but I decided to bust them out for this video's sake. And yes, he does feel pretty cool to hold in your hand. But without further ado, let's start off this review with the head. As always, as you can see there, he does have the sort of classic dinosaur eye with the golden iris and the black pupil staring out at you from both sides. You do have some texture going on across the entire body. It is the wrinkle. It is wrinkles. It is not scales. As you can see, you've got some striations down here on the lower jaw, and they're sort of visible up there. The gloss gloss kind of makes it harder to pick up. The interior of the mouth has been sculpted, but only in the slightest. You do have individual teeth, not a lot of gloss on the tongue or anything like that to make it really, pop, really come to life. But overall, not a bad head on this guy by any stretch of the imagination. Going down the neck, as you can see, you've got some lovely wrinkles and striations there, definitely even more prominent on this side as the figure turns his head slightly to the left. Such a cool thing to see, the skin bunch up and crinkle under the pressure. On the underside, you've got more striations there, and the neck, I think the neck is the most detailed part of the figure, looking at the whole thing. Going down the body, you've got that signature high spine of Acrocanthosaurus running all the way down the back. The arms are nice and long looking with some black talons there, kinda glossy. The seams on this figure are really just unfortunate. As you can see, they just sort of stick out on this guy, but you do have the long arms of Acrocanthosaurus lovingly sculpted on this guy. Going down the body, you see more wrinkles, a nice, powerful looking bird-like leg crouched and hunkered down as the creature holds itself lower to the ground. It almost reminds me of the Papo version, the way this thing is sculpted, with its arms used for balance and the head low down. And you've got more of the wrinkles covering the entire leg there. Some more black, not weathered talons on the toes there. And the seam lines seem to persist. Seem to persist. Someone date me, please. Anyway, going down the tail, you've got some more wrinkles and striations coming to a nice sort of graceful looking. It almost reminds me of an eel for some reason. Maybe it's the coloration, but you can see it sort of goes off to the left a bit and then swoops back to the right ever so slightly. And really, that's all there is to the overall look of this figure. As you can see, he is done in a sort of forest green paint job as a base with some mint coloration coming in and striping the head and the tail. And I really do like the color on this guy. It is kind of similar to the original version, the original Battat version. I'll put a picture in. Not in color so much, but maybe it's in pattern. I don't know why. Maybe I'm crazier than an outhouse rat when I say that. But I think there is something that definitely harkens back to that original job, which I think is really cool to see, especially on a repaint. The unfortunate thing about pretty much all of the new Battat figures is the high amount of gloss that covers the entire thing. As you see, it's really shining in the light there, but it really just sort of masks all the detail that they put into that thing. I prefer my dinosaurs with a matte finish, except for very special circumstances, and yes, the gloss is just really doing these things a disservice. It could almost read as sort of slimy snakeskin, but, I don't know. I think it's pretty matte up on the head, and I think the head is definitely the best part, as you can see, comparing the spine to the head there. I just wish it sort of had that sense all over it, rather than just on the head there, but that's only my opinion. Let's do some sizing for you guys. Alright, now I do have a tape measure for you guys here, which is going to be sort of useful, compared to my regular flimsy ruler, it would seem. So from the snout all the way to the back of the tail, you're looking at right around 10 inches long. Sorry, I can't really do that in one frame. And from the base all the way to the highest point, let go of the blanket, please, is going to be the tail in this case, and you're looking at right around 2¼ inches, just past 2½ inches. Oops, you can't even see that. Here we go, let's do that again. So about just under 3 inches here, about 2¼ inches off the ground, so a pretty sizable figure. Let's do some size comparisons for you guys. First off, we're going to start off by bringing in the Terra by Battat Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he does have some balancing issues, so we're going to see how this goes. We might have to just do that. There you can kind of see how those two figures size up next to each other, especially if the Acrocanthosaurus is not going to be your first Battat figure. I feel like everyone goes for T-Rex sooner or later, so you can get an idea on how those figures would size up next to each other. Next, we're going to bring in the Safari Limited take on the Acrocanthosaurus, and it is very interesting to see the two different different takes on these same species and just the varying styles between the two. I think it's always pretty cool to see, but if you have that, then you get a great idea on how that sizes up. Again, no bananas, and I am actually remiss right now in my duties because I do not have the Papo version to size up next to this guy, which I'm really kicking myself for, but Spino Guy / Spinosaur Slasher was very specific that he wanted us to size him up to the Safari Limited Carcharodontosaurus figure, so if you are not new to my channel, then you know that we did review this figure a while back, and if you are new to my channel, link will be down in the description so you can check out the review on this particular figure. But hopefully all of that gives you guys a better idea on how this figure, this Acrocanthosaurus, sizes up to other dinosaur toys. And yeah, that'll do it for size comparison. So there you have it, guys. That is going to conclude our look at the Terra by Battat Acrocanthosaurus figure. Overall, I think this figure is pretty darn good. I mean, it doesn't have the same amount of charm as some of the Battat line originally did, but really that's going to be pretty darn hard to duplicate. And this is definitely, like I said, if you can't get any of the Battat figures, then the Terra ones are definitely what you need to go and pick up. They're sold exclusively at Target, and prices ranging from $5 to $10. And honestly, it's kind of difficult to tell you what all you're gonna find. I have seen every species that they have produced in the flesh except for one, at least once. The only one that I haven't seen on multiple occasions in the flesh is the Nashungasaurus, if I'm saying that right, and then the Cryolophosaurus I have never once seen. And those are the two of the new species that they sculpted. But yes, if you have the opportunity to pick up any of these figures, I highly recommend it because they are worthy substitutes for the original line. Overall, I think this one deserves a 7 out of 10, 6.5. Yeah, I'd say more of a 6.5 out of 10. It's nothing incredible, but it certainly is a pretty fun toy for collectors and kids alike. So yes, absolutely, if you see this in Target, you should definitely pick it up, especially, I mean, I don't know if they're still restocking them at certain Targets, but do not shop for these online because they really do jack up the prices. I've seen this guy offered for like, you know, 30, 40 bucks. Go to Target and hopefully you can find him. But as always, I want to know your guys' thoughts on this figure. As you can see, I did put him back in the box for you, which I think is a great thing that you can do with these particular figures, so you can take them out and put them back in the box as you wish. So I think it definitely earned some points there. Of course, I want to know, like, do you guys keep your toys in the box, or do you take them out and display them? That's something I want to know down in the comments below. Do you prefer this Acrocanthosaurus, or do you have a favorite version of that figure? Let me know all of those thoughts down in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you feel I did a good job with this video, don't be afraid to hit that like button and subscribe on the way out so you don't miss any of our future reviews. We will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.